And with that, folks, I think we are ready to transition over to quarterfinals match 1, dlimes13 versus MetalGlennSolid. So we have the number 1 seed, dlimes13, the favorite, arguably, to win the whole tournament versus MetalGlennSolid. And, Glenn pulled off that win against Tino, and his reward is to face off against, well, Mr. D-Lim himself. So let's see how this race turns out.
So are both of the runners ready right now?
That is correct. And if I can actually type out the number sequence correctly, I was about to type out 3, 1, 2, go. And that would have been incorrect. Yeah, the number countdown mix up.
Yeah, that would have been bad, but here we go, getting started here. So like as you said before, D-Line's definitely the favorite to win, but this is a race. Anything can happen. Things can go wrong. Stuff, just happens unexpectedly. And with Glenn, I actually haven't not been watching too much of his like actual runs. I've more so seen him on like normal difficulty, but I think if he wants to win, he has to just play very consistently and maybe a bit safer and kind of really hope that D-Limes makes a big mistake later on.
Yeah, you really can't avoid the issue of playing against someone who has the fastest time on the fastest category on the fastest version.
Yeah.
This category has become, you know, and this is something that people who know me, I have some mixed feelings about this category, but I have a lot of respect for where this category has gone in recent times. There's been a huge effort in optimizing and trying to find every little thing to squeeze out every little opportunity. And one of the people on the front lines of that is, of course, dlimes13. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Glenn responds both to that pressure in trying to match up to someone who has a lot of experience with this game primarily and has put a lot of work in trying to find stuff out.
That is unfortunate. So they both got left Olga, which is actually bad for this category. Typically, ones walk in front of you, and Glenn had the setup for the loop, but he just let go of first-person view and dropped it. So
oh, D-Limes with the
yeah.
the accidental hand shot. He did not.
Yeah.
He's missing these headshots. This is really costly.
Looks like Glenn's a little flustered too. Oh no. Yeah, okay, so after both of those Olgas, D-Limes now secures the lead, but both of those were a bit shaky, and Glenn definitely had that left loop, but just unfortunately let go of the FPV button. Wow. So big opportunity missed. So now Glenn's trailing behind, and now he's gonna have to really hope that he can maybe make up some more ground later on, perhaps in the guard rush fight or maybe in the engine room.
A very unexpected. Though the thing is with Olga, you have to understand, folks, that a lot of people will just reset on Olga if they don't get the right setup, and that's just not something you can do in a race. You have to deal with it, and the nerves can really get it hit you pretty hard at the start of a run during a marathon situation, and that's just how it goes sometimes with the tanker section. As we see both runners heading into the engine room, we're probably going to see, I know D-Limes is going to be doing the fast engine room strat. We'll see if Glenn does it as well. I think Glenn takes it safe. Yeah, Glenn takes it. Oh, he's actually... But the positioning was a little bit off, so that's a bit of a problem. He had to shimmy his way over a little bit. That's why I thought he was going safe, because of where he positioned himself. And honestly, I kind of question whether it was even worth shimmying over at that point.
Yeah. And one more thing is that you also notice that like with Glenn, he actually had to like readjust the aim for the shot, and you actually don't have to do that. And then as I say that now, Glenn gets knocked over by the domino guards right at that spot because he was a little bit too slow. It's very unfortunate, but so dlimes now extending his lead.
And I understand why Glenn tried to do it again. It's this whole logic of you're facing against the number one seed. You need to do as much as you can, but if you mess up the setup, you might as well just go for a backup and cut your losses. It's a very weird balancing. What is how do you win against someone who knows the game so well? You either have to hope they make mistakes and you just play as consistently as possible, or you take those risks.
And they both deal with both of the guards very well. You can sometimes get it to where you don't have to deal with a second guard, like with my case, but that's pretty rare, and or you have to move a very specific way. But going into guard rush now. So it looks like dlimes opts for the trank on the first guard, so he can take care of the one in the back. And very clean guard rush so far. Yep, quick 3 headshots, and it's over pretty much. I think I'm gonna steal that tech. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, you should probably keep some notes out, buddy. I think that might be a good idea. But as you can see, some differences with this guard rush. Glenn was a little bit over to the right, and that ended up making him be in a bad position to take out the third guard. So little stuff like that with your positioning and guard rush make a huge difference. As we're now going through holds 1, dlimes had a pretty uneventful holds. We'll
Both of them
see if
had very shaky ladder glitches. Like they both had that really weird one where like they had to like readjust. So that's interesting that they both got that, and they both readjusted just fine.
I think D-Limes though, like his ladder glitch always looks like he's gonna fail, but he never does.
Hmm.
It always looks a little bit suspect, but it isn't. And the domino coming in hot, cool, very easy tech. That's one of the exciting things about very easy on the tanker is that domino strat being a little bit faster.
Oh,
Specifically on PC, I don't know if you do that on HDC unless it's on Xbox One due to
hmm.
lag,
I'm not
but
sure to be honest.
definitely on PC, and very much so not on PS2.
Yeah, the game might just freeze up at that point with how
too
slow it
too
is.
many guards, too many
Yeah.
guards doing too many things.
And actually, Glenn going for the 3-spot camera. I'm not sure like how many people actually go for the 3-spot, but I think he's probably in the minority there. But want to keep things safe and consistent. Maybe he's a little bit shaky on the 2-spot and doesn't want to fail and have to retake the photos. So interesting to see the difference in strategies here.
I think part of the 2-spot versus 3-spot debate, if you want to call it that, is if you're doing 3-spot, it's really easy to set up those pictures and very
Yeah,
quick.
it's pretty much
2-spot,
free.
2-spot you need some precision, and it's hard to be both precise and fast. So it's sort of a mentality thing, and especially in a race environment, you don't want to have to be fiddling around with the photographs for long. You really want to move into plant as quickly as possible. There's not really, typically what we've seen through these races so far is that the lead coming out of tanker really isn't that much. No one has had like a disaster tanker that like leaves them, minutes behind or anything. So the key thing is just get out of that boat as quick as possible.
Okay, so do you mind explaining me this? Because I'm pretty new to this whole
So
grab the M9.
this is some menuing setup thing
Oh, I see.
from tanker, because you see it's now on as previous.
Oh, okay, I see.
So
Interesting.
the way you end your menus at tanker lets you go pick up this M9, which is pretty interesting. I think we saw Beswick do that yesterday as well, and I was really alarmed and surprised
Yeah.
by that. It was really interesting. And we see Glenn is just kind of hanging out.
Yeah. And one thing to note from yesterday, whenever I think I saw BMN do it before Bestquick, is that um, grabbing the M9 there, as you'll see, will cause an ammo box to spawn, which could be good or bad depending on how you use your M9. So you have a bit more of a padding for your M9 ammo, because in tanker you have this huge magazine, 106, and it's just filled to the brim. But on plant they just give you just the regular 16 round magazine.
Okay, I will address the correction in chat because again, I do not run this category. That is still possible if you pick up the M9 later, but it's just funny you can pick up the M9 there and not waste any time.
And you do get more ammo, so I mean that's like the one benefit of it. But other than that, yeah, because you can pick it up later.
That's right.
But, yeah.
Need all that ammo for all these guards that are so resilient to trank bullets. That's what we need.
Yeah.
So we're just heading into the one of the more interesting parts of the run IMO is the bomb disposal on very easy. And it's not really that it's particularly difficult, but because we're on PC, things come fast and furious. And
Mm.
that is really the motto with a very easy PC, fast and furious. It feels like you're just the game is a blur on VE.
Yeah, so this is where we can maybe start to see a little bit of an extension for dlimes' lead here in the monsters, depending on how things go. And I think I was talking about Scout with us yesterday, but what do you think is like the most important room in bomb disposal for very easy? I think it might be strut A because of all the coolant rises. And
Yeah,
you need
Strut
to,
A.
yeah.
Strut A is a good candidate. I think that's a room where we saw that with your race with underwater smoking. Underwater smoking had some issues with
Mm-hmm.
the spray, and that can be really costly on any category, or rather any difficulty. But on VE, when everything is pure movement, that is a bit of a problem because
Yeah.
some of these struts, like strut D, like there's not too much to worry about here. Fairly straightforward.
dlimes
D-Limes
doing.
has about a room lead on Glenn.
See if Glenn can maybe close that out. Make it a little bit closer. Looks like a good strut D so far.
Yeah, what Glenn needs is to chip away, and that's the deal. The death by 1,000 cuts, or gains by 1,000 cuts. It's got to chip away at that block as much as you can, and hope that D-Limes has some snafus along the way.
Oh, and he does get the alert, which should not matter at all, but just means he took the room a little bit slower than you'd like to. Typically, you wouldn't like to have that alert go off. That just means that you were just a little too slow, but hopefully he can make up some more time here on these next couple of sections, because one thing with this route is that the bridges are a lot more awkward than if you do counterclockwise. Doing counterclockwise, um, the bridges are pretty straightforward, but on clockwise, they're kind of awkward. You have to like go up and down stairs like quite a bit, and there's like guards in the way and such.
So I think both of these runners are part of the one cartwheel club going down the stairs. It's been recently
There's
discussed.
a club. I
Yeah,
wasn't aware of this club
some some
because
some
I
goofy some goofy thing. Yeah, so you know how that you could do two cartwheels or one
yeah.
cartwheel down this staircase. Well, they're actually the same speed. It's just a matter of how you want to do your line. If you do one cartwheel, then you're positioned so you just hold up as you after the first wheel. You just have to time the wheel correctly. And if you do two cartwheels, you just have to do like an analog line to get the same speed. See, Glenn's part of the one cartwheel club.
I will die on that rock. I will always be two cartwheel. That's how I've
I'm
always
thinking.
learned
I'm
it.
thinking of continuing to do two cartwheels
Yeah, man,
just
go
to
against the grain.
keeping it keeping it alive.
Yeah.
The double cartwheel, even
Ooh.
though it's probably harder.
Interesting claymore pickup there by dlimes. I've not particularly seen that, or well, haven't really seen much of that before. Typically opt to go for that later on, but getting that earlier is a bit better. Make lines later on a lot better. Looks like Glenn's gonna be taking the safer route going around the claymore.
And really nice position on D limes for that hang and spray. Nice and clean, no problems there. We'll see how Glenn handles it. He goes for the crouch.
Not sure if that's even worth it, or like if you save much time doing
I
that
don't
crouch, because
think
you have
D
to.
limes went for it, so I'd imagine it
Yeah.
doesn't make a difference, but I'm not sure.
And here we go, Sade. See if we can get this magic spot for the bomb. I know a lot of people have struggled throughout the tournament with this, and see if dlimes can get it first try.
There's different ways to approach spraying this bomb. Uh, I recently started adjusting how I did it in terms of using D-pad down left and then spraying at the corner rather than spraying down, and that's helped me make this way more consistent for myself. But there's a lot of different ways to set up. It's just what you're comfortable with. And
Yeah.
Glenn gets the spray, no problem getting those colorizes to save on the animation, move more quickly. So even though Glenn has been doing a few safe stuff and is a little bit behind, this could still,
It's still one room behind, so it's
it's
not that
still,
bad.
yeah, this is not an insurmountable lead that dlimes has pulled. Not at all.
Yeah, we have the Fortune RNG coming up, where there's a bit of a variance of how fast that the fight can actually finish. And after that, Fat Man, and I think the real decider, which I think you can be saying for most of these races, is going to be the Harrier fight. Because if the Harrier fight goes really bad, then you're going to be bleeding a lot of time.
Yeah, that the mid game stuff is really where the rubber meets the road. Harrier, Shell 1 core, and the swimming section and Vamp. By that point in the run, the lead has been mostly determined, and dlimes doing what what we were discussing earlier today. That it's actually faster to apparently just spray this bomb first, then go pick up the sensor because of the codec. Supposedly, it's faster to do it this way.
Swag wheel, let's go.
And then he goes for the swag wheel, the legendary swag wheel. And Glenn doing the other approach, going for the sensor first, also going for the swag wheel. Look at these fools. They're really cartwheeling into that pantry. Legendary. And so the logic is, for people who are wondering why is there this difference, the thought was that the time that is spent once you load it into the BC bridge and you wait for the codec to happen, that's why it's faster to do the bomb first, then the sensor.
I see.
Since there's that little delay before the codec happens.
Need to investigate this some more. And actually, dlimes going for this bottom route. I'm not sure if, I mean, probably a little bit faster, but I typically go with the north route. Interesting to see difference in strats here.
And the reason why, for a very long time, and by very long time I mean until like now, that everyone would 352 on dlimes for that elevator. The reason why everyone would do it that way was because on European Extreme with counterclockwise, it just made logical sense to do that bomb last. But when you're doing clockwise, you're coming from the bottom, so you can just go to the bathroom instead first.
Now, one thing about the time left is that because dlimes grabbed the sensor after he defused the bomb, his timer started earlier because typically it was
that threw me off.
so,
of like, wait, did dlimes mess up really bad? That's not correct.
Yeah.
But no, it's totally expected. Didn't fall into the water. Very nice. No seam crouch. Very important. Yep, they're very close. Very close. Ooh, Glenn with the cartwheel backwards. At least he didn't cartwheel into the water or anything goofy like that. But this bomb placement is really annoying.
Yeah. It's actually a lot harder than the European Extreme one. The European Extreme one is just right there on the wall, and you can just spray right there, but on the other one, it's just in that awkward position.
So we enter Fortune and doing the setup 3 punches, then a crouch, so Fortune will blow up the forklift, and then setting yourself up crouched by these yellow barrels, because part of the scripting for this fight is that She's got to blow up the forklift. She's got to blow up the light fixtures, and she has to blow up these barrels. So that's the logic behind it. But even within that, there's some variance in terms of her shooting pattern. So this fight isn't a consistent timer, even if you do everything correct and have her blow up things you want her to blow up.
Yeah, and I was actually gonna try to go for this today, but I was having some trouble with it, so I'm just going with my typical wait till she blows up the legs and just wait in the bottom right corner, which can allow for some variance, but if you screw up what dlimes is doing, she can have an extra dialogue, which can lose you even more time. So high risk if you mess it up.
Now Limes is approaching Fat Man, and I think we're probably going to see everyone in this tournament do lethal Fat Man.
Unless they're Madman, yeah.
Maybe Platonic
maybe.
will throw out the non-lethal strat, but non-lethal is actually faster than lethal is my understanding, but it requires really strong precision and speed with your shots in order to make it faster than lethal. Definitely, as far as consistency is concerned, especially in a race environment, lethal is the way to go, even if non-lethal is faster.
Yeah.
And he didn't pick up the chaff, which is interesting. Maybe he has some chaff plans later.
You say that Glenn unfortunately takes a smack from the claymore and has to get up.
Very hard doing that line to avoid getting blown up without the box. It is quite challenging, and since we don't pick up the box and very easy, it's really not that necessary. You could run into some problems with that spot in particular.
So now Glenn is 2 rooms behind after the fortune and that little claymore mishap. And interestingly enough, he has the tranquilizer gun out, which, Glenn did not menu at all. So I think that allows Glenn to have a little bit of a faster line here, but it's going to make his menuing later on a bit more extra. Oh, and he forgot to take out that claymore.
Yikes.
It's unfortunate.
And dlimes got that fast bomb spray. I want to learn about that setup. It's a cool setup to get that fast bomb spray. Spraying that coolant, spraying the first bomb, getting some headshots on Fat Man. Let's see how the RNG is. This is actually good RNG. Fat Man is like being completely compliant and accepting his fate. So
yeah, top
nice.
left is really bad. Like, you don't want to go top left, and you don't want him to like skate towards you, because then you have to make a very quick adjustment, and then you have to try and shoot him while he's coming at you.
Very clean Fat Man from dlimes. Let's see how Glenn handles it. Same setup, going for that right bomb to spray first.
Oh no. Yeah, see, this is why, with the M9s, he had to fumble around with the menus a little bit, so losing some extra time here. And unfortunately, he does go to that top left, which you have to be very quick on, and awkward positioning, but he does get that side headshot.
That was a really good shot. Now, again, these cartwheels aren't so good.
Yeah.
And we're not saying this to get on Glenn's case, but again, like we were saying earlier, every little thing really hurts you on this category. This is the optimization category, whereas like European Extreme is, there's optimization. It's really about what are the best options for survival and how can you optimize that. You can't just go pedal to the metal all the time, but in VE, pedal to the metal is the name of the game. So those cartwheel fails, they really add up. And something I discussed with Apache yesterday is the min-maxing with cartwheels and when you should do them. You don't get a whole lot out of cartwheels, so a fail is really painful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's better just to get a good line in general than fail a cartwheel if you can just avoid cartwheeling, period. Anyways, so dlimes is heading into B2 Shell 1 as Glenn is trying to catch up, heading into Shell 1 himself. Again, not it's the gap has increased a little bit, but it's not insurmountable still. However, it's going to really come down to how the next 15 minutes play out. It's going to make a huge difference.
Interesting caution setup here for D-line. Not sure if this is even faster or anything, but just interesting. Guess wanted to squeeze in some extra cartwheels here. And great guard AI.
Trolling the guard, perfect. As he does the Azu sensor setup for the retinal scanner. Boom. Taking off the BDU for efficiency for the loads, slight improvement on the loads without the BDU on. This is true on any version of the game, but it's very slight on PC just because of how fast PC loads.
Your aims, aren't you?
So
Oh,
wow, look at this guy getting
that
God aims. Got God aims. Wow, that is not what Glenn was
Yeah.
hoping for. That is not something you want as a competitor, that your competitor got God aims. So Glenn has a very tough act to follow on his dice roll.
Yeah, pretty much Glenn needs a god. Oh, and he did not get the knock. Oh, and he's gonna walk. Oh no, this isn't good. Okay, so he pretty much needs god aims now. Otherwise, it's gonna be down to Harry. Oh, oh
Whoa,
no!
whoa, whoa. No, the shot.
Oh,
This is the return of the Tino.
Oh no.
But let's see if Glenn's gonna have to try to
Caution
handle
traps,
this a
I
little
guess?
bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna wait it out until
Oh no.
the caution happens. That is really rough, and that very well might cost him the race because it's D-limes.
That's a nice little cartwheel. You can squeeze one more extra cartwheel there, and you'll land in the middle of the stairs. And as we say that, now let's for our attention back to MetalGlenn and see how he's going to handle this, because this is a very awkward situation, to say the least. And there's a lot of guards here. Oh, this is not a favorable position at all.
Nope.
Okay, so he's going to... Oh, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, no.
You just smack him with the gun first.
Oh, he got it! Let's go. Okay, he got it.
So close.
Okay, that could have been detrimental if he got another alert. That was really close. Okay, so that's over now.
Though and it's a really common mistake, so it's nothing to feel terrible about, but accidentally doing the throw instead of the choke, that is something that is really easy to do in the solid games.
Mm-hmm.
Try to choke someone, but you accidentally throw because you're still holding a direction, and poor old Glenn getting one of the worst spawns.
Further punishment for what he did earlier. Yeah, that's just...
It's just insult to injury, really. All right, let's see how Limes handles his sensor shots. We haven't seen anyone blow up the bridge yet. He goes for the Cypher first.
Yeah, the safe Cypher shot first.
Yeah, the patterns here really depend on difficulty, because there's different numbers of sensors depending on difficulty.
Mm-hmm. And we'll start the Harrier fight. I'm looking for that 5+1. See if we can get it here. Okay, looks like 5-shot is secured. Oh, was that a 4-shot?
I think he whiffed that last shot, yeah.
I think that's a 4-shot. Andy with the... Oh, okay.
No,
really
he got that 4+1. He got that 4+1.
It's not too bad.
It takes a moment for that shot to land.
Yeah, I was thinking that it missed because I don't have the audio on, but yeah, so he should be able to take him out with 2 more Stinger missiles here. Thanks to the 4+1, but decent recovery from
Harrier.
Yeah, decent.
Decent Harrier. Nothing too out of the ordinary. You know, missing a shot. It happens. It happens. But he recovered. He got his +1, so that helps quite a bit.
Yeah. 3-shot and like 1-shot are like the worst. Apparently 2-shot. Now I've skimmed through the video, but
What if I
oh,
told you?
oh,
He's he
he's
he's oh
he's
all right,
improving
Tyler. How are you feeling
improvements.
right now? How are you feeling right now?
I'm still not gonna go for it, but I can see I made a couple of mistakes in my pathing there to that pipe.
Yeah,
So
you
thank
were
you, D-Limes.
zigzagging, which is extremely dangerous. Like zigzagging on that narrow platform is spooky to say the least. I think I'm going to interpret that as a statement. I think I'm gonna interpret that as a statement to whoever wins the BMN Tyler matchup.
Interesting. Chaffless, so gonna trank the guard here, and not gonna be able to deal with the alerts, and he's just gonna be taking out. I believe I only got 1 cipher, maybe 2, probably just 1.
And you do get that
Cutscene.
that P cutscene. And let's look at Glenn. Let's see how he handles the Harrier. Can he get 5+1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No. Oh man, that shot.
Can you get the +1 though? No, looks like he left the
Nope.
+1.
Nope. He
So
just
just a
got a
regular
standard
4-shot.
4. Unfortunate.
And he missed the first die shot. Oh no.
Yeah, people. I've seen there's been some struggle with some of the racers in this tournament timing that die shot. Maybe it's due to nerves or just being a little bit off.
And now he
You
has
need to.
to catch him on the fly over here. This is gonna be enough.
It's
He needs
not
2 more
enough.
shots.
But
Ooh,
he
nice
did.
overhead.
He did get that instant shot. So good on Glenn for doing that again. Have to go for anything to try to claw back a lead, if at all possible, because it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be real hard at this point.
And Glenn taking the standard approach as opposed to the me approach. Okay. That was a bit clinch.
That was definitely the edge of that platform. I think there's no more edge at that point. I think you were on the edge of disaster.
Yeesh. All right, and as Glenn's doing the perimeter, we see D-Lime's grabbing the Nikita and heading over to destroy the control panel for the presidents. Wonder if he's gonna go for a swim glitch here as well. We know that he's not the biggest fan of it unless he needs it, but in a race and with how far ahead he is, he may just go for it to try and secure the win.
Yeah, or just as a pure practice thing to do it
Yeah.
under pressure. That's
For sure. That could be another thing you can do as well.
because this lead, it's I mean, I don't want to hurt the spirits or anything, but it is a very heavy lead. This is not a, few rooms.
Yeah, this is a bigger separation than with myself and Anwar smoking, I believe, because I think we were in the same building, but like we were just like going opposite directions because I was going towards the president and then he was going towards the Nikita. So I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, this is a
you
much
did a
bigger
high
gap.
five when he was going to vamp and you were leaving with Emma.
Mm-hmm.
So
Only other thing I can think of maybe being an issue is that if D-Limes goes for the Emma bump, soft locking, that'd be the only thing. But you think that even D-Limes and he might be listening in, just may want to just walk straight through because there comes a point where you don't want to risk something like that.
he cartwheeled he cartwheeled into the panel, the node, and shot. He was like, my optimization failed. He listened to me through the void about risky cartwheels.
Now they're going to do a swimming high five here.
He's just going for standard swimming.
Interesting. I think that he'd want to maybe practice it in case he needs to pull it out for a future race, but Assuming that he just goes for the standard swim. Maybe he's just wanting to keep that for some like offline practice.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he does not like swim glitch, so
And I am the complete opposite.
he's just not feeling it this afternoon. Like, yeah, I'm only gonna do it when I need to do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So, I mean, there's an argument to be made either way.
Yeah.
I can't really argue too much with it though. I mean, Mr. One Seat over here is definitely cleaning up the place, saying, "Yeah, I had a buy, and well, here's my statement as I enter the tournament."
That stinger menu may have to cause him to do an extra menu, and as I say that now, dlimes just quickly takes care of Vamp 1. Very textbook from Limes, but yeah, so because he had the stinger going into that cutscene, he may have the Nikita on his secondary, because you're given the SOCOM by default because of the cutscene that happens here, but he may have to menu back to the stinger. Wait and see.
Yep.
Oh, and I think he
Yeah.
menued to the stinger while he was going into this cutscene again.
I
This
think
is just
I think Ryan just changed into it while
yeah,
walking over. There's a
yeah. That
very
was
quick frame of him holding the stinger, so I think we're gonna see Raiden holding the stinger once he's done with these cutscenes.
be very interesting to see. Oh, nope,
Oh,
he's
it
got
was
the
the
Nikita.
Nikita.
Yep.
Okay.
So because he had the singer, he has the Nikita, so he has to actually menu again. Because he already did the manual menu going into the cutscene, but now he has to menu again to go to the stinger from the Nikita.
Menuing is a really important aspect of the
Yep.
very easy run, and
Death by a
knowing
thousand cuts.
when you should menu, and what you should menu to. That's what makes you impart a very good VE runner at high level.
And I'm pretty sure Glenn does not care to learn for swim glitch, so he's just going for the standard swim. I don't think he has any intentions of learning that glitch. I think whenever I had asked him last, so he's just going to do the standard swim, keep things the way that, he is used to and like he's comfortable with. But
Yeah, at this point, Glenn's just crossing his fingers that
soft lock
D-Limes has
or
some sort of
power outage,
technical
soft lock,
issue.
yeah, like that'd be probably the only thing that could maybe cause this to go back to Glenn's favor. And they're gonna do a swimming, well, not really swimming, because Glenn's opening the door and dlimes is going through the door. All right, so as one leaves, another enters. We're gonna see if Glenn can do a clean Vamp 1. I think he's pretty consistent with these. I haven't really seen him mess these up too much. Hopefully that did not just curse him.
Commentator's curse.
Moves up ahead, and
Nope,
nice. Yeah.
clean. Nothing too special about that. And honestly, I expect nothing less as we go into the quarterfinals, and we've had some wins and losses going into this to see who has that prelim strength.
Yeah.
And now we all get to sit back and relax and enjoy the escort show.
Yep.
Oh, well, Stinger, hello.
Menu.
It's gonna blow up Emma in the locker. Does that work?
Frustration.
Can you?
I think if you use a stinger, she'll get scared or something.
Oh yeah, if you just like fire, she'll start
Yeah.
crying. But
And see if dlimes goes for the Emma bump.
maybe he'll go for the Emma toss.
The Emma toss.
I don't think I've ever seen someone try to toss.
Oh.
Maybe that's what we need to do on HDC is toss her it, and that'll be safe.
Yeah. Maybe. Alright, so with that, the M bump is successful, and dlime's just going to continue trotting along here. As we're going to head over towards the sniper section, the big auto scroller that's interesting. He takes both of them out. I don't think you need to take both out. But maybe because whenever I did during my race, I had done just the regular, walk through the door with Emma and then I only took out one, and the other one didn't see me at all. So perhaps you need to take both of those out if you do the Emma bump. To wait and see and test that later.
Interesting details. Setting up his menu now.
Yep.
For Strudel.
You can do that there, or whenever you spray out the flames. I like do it whenever I spray out the flames, but it's pretty much the same thing. And boom, boom, gone. 2 guards quickly taken care of. Yep.
Now you could take them out with the M9, but I think the menu ends up working a little bit better.
Yeah, because you already have the AK equipped, because you already used that, presumably to take out the Cypher, or Cyphers in that case. So. Also, you'd want the AK for the Cyphers going towards the Shell 1 core anyway, so works out.
Yep. Sets up your menuing really well. And really not much to say on Lime's side, so it's just going to be standard stuff. Taking out Cyphers, taking out guards. Let's see how Glenn handles his Shell 1 exit here. Very key that you don't mess up these shots. Good. Got the guard. Nice and clean. And avoiding the Mo guard, as he's known.
Yeah. Just walk right
Squeaking
past him.
by.
Not gonna do anything special.
And he doesn't go for the bump.
Yep.
I think Glenn's just saying, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna have a nice breezy walk to a loss at this point, which I understand. You know, it's like I want to just finish out this race and have a good time. And I don't know, maybe he is actually on. Oh no, he can't be on PB pace. That Shell 1 is Okay, he got it. Yeah, you do not want to go on alert here. That's a bad situation, a bad scene for sure. I love that that guy does not see you as well.
Yeah, blind as a bat.
Blind.
And
and he let go too quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know dlimes uses an audio cue of the, and he pulled Emma way too far up. You don't have to pull her that far up. I know Limes uses a audio cue at the phone ringing. I just pay attention to the black smoke happening.
Well,
that's my cue.
I think what he meant was like for like starting to use the coolant is like as soon as like you like hear the phone ring, then you pull out the coolant spray, and after that, I think I count to like 8 or like 9 sprays up and down, and then that's usually enough. Oh no, didn't bring her to the hatch.
All right, now both runners are doing the escort sequence, so we have some real downtime, the realest of the downtimes.
Yep.
In
both players
MGS2.
Both players at the auto scroller section, so not much to talk about, but you know, I had posted it in the chat earlier, but you know, be sure to give these guys a follow if you like what you see. Both of them run Metal Gear Solid 2, and both of them actually run more than just Metal Gear Solid 2, but they also run other Metal Gear games, especially MetalGlennSolid. He's known for doing speedruns of most of the games in the series for the solid numbered games. He's done speedruns, and he's even done an anthology run, so be sure to check these guys out.
Yep, for sure. These are both true blue soldiers of the MGSR community. dlimes really putting the Hurt Locker on MGS2 specifically, and Glenn putting a lot of Hurt Locker on that MGS1 PC. So
oh yeah, he's just a juggernaut on an MGS1 PC, and he's been doing a lot of like marathons too lately. Like I think he did like 5 marathons like the span of like a month. It's crazy.
It was insane. Tons of work. And since we got some more time, maybe we can do a little bit of promotion. If if you're not aware, this is a tournament sponsored by Metal Gear Speedrunners. And if you are interested in learning any of these games or hanging out with the community at large, we have a website, MetalGearSpeedrunners.com, where you can learn about all the games in the series, strategies, routes. There's a Discord link there. We have some news articles, a lot of cool stuff. So if you're interested in getting involved in the community, it doesn't even necessarily have to be in a speedrunning capacity, just hanging out, lurking. We welcome all. So check it out. I know that this tournament's been going really well. I think you would agree. This has been a very exciting set of matches we've had so far. So definitely expect more events like this in the future. In fact, I think we're coming up to the our quarterly relay race. I think we're planning on having that in June, early June. So see, people are interested participating in that. And typically we have a fundraiser at this point in the year, but live events haven't really been a thing anymore. So we haven't had to really raise any money for people's travel expenses. D-Lime's getting that left single tap into the vamp shots. Very nice. Very nice, very simple.
Also, mind if I do a quick little shout out, as there is a marathon game list that came out not like 1 hour ago. We have a couple of members in the community that are going to be in there. So, NASA 2020 game list just came out, and I'm not too sure when this is going to happen, but we're going to have a lot of people from MGSR there. Basketball to Peanuts playing not MGS games, but we have dlimes doing MGS1, console, PC all bosses, and dlimes also doing PC 80% very easy, and also have Raichu doing MGS3 Snake Eater, so be sure to check that out. We'll be posting more information on the website and in the Discord server whenever those dates become closer.
Nice, solid trilogy coming in hot. Well done to those three for getting into NASA, which I understand is going to be an online event, as most events are these days. Very exciting stuff. I know I still need to finish my submissions for
That ends today, doesn't it? Whoops.
Yeah,
I
that's...
need to do that as well. I should probably get around to doing that sometime today.
Yupperoonie. Okay, well, D-Limes is now in the Arsenal gear, and be finishing up endgame here. Likely without too much incident, and even if there is some incident, it's just not enough. We need like incidents on incidences, a series of incidents.
Yeah, this is pretty much guaranteed for D-Limes at this point, unless something technically unfortunate happens, then it's pretty much in the bag. See if Glenn does this quick Vamp 2 kill. Oh, I did not get it.
This is a little bit... Apparently,
Yeah.
some people have been... The way they've been doing this trick is just one tap on the keyboard.
Yeah, I had tried to do that, and I tried to kind of like blink it on like the side, and I kind of try to graze the very edge of the key to get that very light tap. But I messed it up during my race, and I just went for the full zoom in at that point.
So exciting that we finally found a use for the keyboard in MGS2 PC, which is probably one of the worst keyboard setups for a video game ever.
Mm-hmm. It is quite awful.
If this game had mouse support,
we'd be in business.
I think we would be. It would still be kind of awkward, but we would definitely be in business at
We
least.
use it for like sniping though. We could have for like sniping and maybe for like stinger sections as well. That'd be nice to have it for.
If you could just like right click and then go into FPV, like, and then left click would be shoot, like, that could work. That could work. But
Maybe in the future, whenever this gets another PC release,
someone
maybe.
mods this game
Yeah, someone-
hardcore to get mouse support in.
Since we're on the topic of keyboard and mice, do you know if the PlayStation mouse is supported on MGS1?
I don't think so.
Never tried it.
I don't think that's supported. It's a very limited list of games that have mouse support.
dlimes just getting slaughtered by Snake and his rapid fire USP. As you can see, the USP high rate of fire for whatever reason. You know, Snake is really quick on the trigger.
Jeez. You gotta abuse him like that. I'm pretty sure now Snake is going to be distrusting of Raiden at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you whack him enough, he'll actually start to act different towards you in the little room before Tengu 2. Even like some of the codec calls, and Snake does get the health refill, so no problems there. And then also you get a full ammo refill on all your guns, because you totally needed that at this point in the game. So you got full arsenal ready to go.
No stun grenades.
Yep. Just murk some people and just do the door glitch and on your way.
Very nice.
And I'm just going to be firing stingers here. Pretty standard stuff, just up in the rafters. So we see Glenn looks like he's going through Degenum pretty cleanly.
No falling down pits or anything like that. As dlimes gets his shots off on the spawning Tengus, which is a fairly tricky strat. It requires some practice and knowledge of the timing of the spawns and where to aim exactly and where to position yourself on the floor, etc., etc. So Snake can take it, it's fine.
Little parting gift.
And now to just spam until he only has 4 missiles. Yep. It's like, I don't need more than that, I'm good. All I need is four stingers. That's all I need. No more, no less. Yeah, very easy raise isn't really a boss fight. It's more like a a little pebble in the road that you have to step over.
Just press square 3 to 4 times and you're good.
Though we've seen some players mess it up in this tournament, it is possible to mess up your setup, but it's not super likely.
Jack, those days during the Civil War were as real as they come. Every day was absolute, split between life and death.
So let's see what we got coming up next. Our next match is Beswick versus Mac McD. And I am really excited about this match because Beswick is quite the player, as we've seen. Really has a good knowledge of this game. Doing some pretty crazy stunts. So
I think he went for the fastest Harrier yesterday and he got it because There's 5+1, but if you do, I think it's 2-shot or like some variant of the 2-shot, you can get it a little bit faster. And I think he went for it, and it actually worked, which was insane.
Yeah, Beswick is definitely a player to look out for as we go into the later parts of this tournament. Not to take anything away from Mac, you know, Mac has a lot of legacy skill and experience with Very Easy. He's run Very Easy for a long time, but it's going to be an interesting matchup of the new versus the old. And Beswick didn't seem to really be bothered by the pressure in his first match, his prelim against King of the Bees, but Mac is no slouch. As we saw, he beat Apache in that 2-second upset. So
Anything can happen.
anything can happen. I mean, Beswick did have a continue and holds too. So maybe there's some shakiness there. Hard to say. Hard to say. As we're rounding up this tournament match, dlimes facing off against Solidus. There's been some new cool tech with this fight where you want to go for that stab.
Yeah, I was trying for it earlier, but I just could not get it. So I'm just going to be going for slashes from now on.
And it looks pretty tricky. And then there's that sweet parry you can go for as well.
I think I saw Joe go for that yesterday, right?
I think Beswick actually got it
was it
during.
Beswick? Okay.
Yeah, I saw Beswick at least do it during phase 2, which was a real treat.
The one dash into the people's elbow.
But dlimes is like, hey,
Nice
and there
parry.
it is.
Yep.
There's that parry, and
with
time
that
on
time-
dlimes
Do you remember this place?
55:44.
Of course.
Is that our fastest
This is where we first met.
race yet?
I'm not sure. I have not been. I have
Keeping up.
unlike what most people would expect it from me. I have not been keeping a spreadsheet up of all the times. I should have, but Apache said he's the stats man, so I need stats man Apache in my life. So congratulations to dlimes on winning his first match of the tournament. We're now going to turn the audio over to Glenn as he finishes up here.
I think I found something to pass along to the future.
Just finished the raid fight and going to be fighting Solidus himself.
Yep, not too far behind. It was really that Shell 1 core that
Yeah.
set him up, and Shell 1 core is a place where a mistake can be really painful, really painful.
Yeah, because before that, it was just the like slight Olga mishap, because I could have gotten him a slight lead, and then the Shell 1 mishap. If he didn't mishap on Shell 1, this could have been a much closer race. They could have been still one room apart.
And at that point, we would be looking at a close to photo finish on Solidus, but you know, stuff happens, folks. Stuff happens. But we want to congratulate Glenn for putting up a good showing. It's not easy going up against Mr. dlim himself, so... And Glenn, to his credit, has learned a lot about this VE category over the last couple weeks, really pushing down his time and getting more competitive with his PB. So let's see how he finishes up with Solidus here. Going for that
Nice
triple
stab.
slash.
He's actually getting
Oh,
these.
he's actually, yeah, he's getting those
stab.
stab. Yeah, he's getting that stab. Excuse me.
Forgot the long dash.
And we want to see that short dash from Solidus if possible. Now will Glenn try to be flashy and get those parries on top of it? Let's see how he handles this.
Oh, the triple dash and Oh, the overhead.
The
Oh.
worst attack possible.
Yep.
Feels
Because you're like
bad.
waiting for that last attack, and then you're like, oh wait, maybe this is the overhead, and then before you know it, you're getting hit by that, and oh, right in the back.
Right in the back. Nice block
Nice.
there, and time for Glenn, a 58-50.
Do you remember this place?
GG to both competitors
Where we first met.
as D-Limes
I remember
advances
now.
to the semifinals
Today is the day I
Yep.
met you.
against whoever
That's
whoever
right.
wins against BMN and Tyler.
I'll be on here in a bit.
Yep, Tyler will be doing his match, not this next match, but the match afterwards, as our next match is Beswick versus Mac McD, and we'll be having Joseph Joestar and MetalGlennSolid commentating for that race, so it's going to be a really exciting one. Definitely one to pay attention to, as, like I said, Beswick, definitely a dark horse going into this tournament. Someone to watch out for, and Mac having all that legacy experience and skill. So do hang out, folks. Do check it out as we enter quarterfinals match 2 of the Metal Gear Solid 2 Very Easy tournament
Is that a
for May 2020.